Okay, so you're ready to really dig deep. You want to get to the core of things fast.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to understand.
And today, we're tackling a big one.
A huge one.
We're going deep into Shakespeare's Hamlet,
Right.
using some incredible insights from Dr. Jasmine Rafford's work on the play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not just skimming the surface.
No.
We're diving into those big questions about existence.
Yes.
About what it means to be human. And especially this idea of resolution that just permeates the whole play.
Yeah, because we all want those satisfying answers, right?
Absolutely. That sense of closure.
But Hamlet doesn't exactly give us easy answers.
No, it doesn't. It challenges us to wrestle with those really tough questions.
Right from the very first line.
Yeah.
Who's there? It's
Well,
not even a statement. It's a question.
And as Dr. Rathod points out, it's not even the guard on duty who's asking.
Right. It's someone approaching them in the darkness.
Which immediately throws you off balance.
Totally. It
Right.
creates this unsettling atmosphere.
It makes you wonder, what's going on here?
Who are these people?
What are their motives? Can we even trust what we're seeing?
Exactly.
And that uncertainty, it just hangs over the whole play.
And then to make things even more unsettling,
Even more eerie.
we have the ghost appearing.
Right.
This figure from beyond the grave.
It's this intrusion of the supernatural.
Into this very real world.
The world of the play.
The world of the castle battlements.
Which are supposed to be this place of order.
Right. Of security.
Of military strength. But suddenly,
it's like the walls between the known and the unknown.
it's just crumbled.
They've become permeable.
And it makes you question
everything.
the very foundation of their reality.
It's brilliantly unsettling.
It is. But then we get this shift.
A glimmer of something different.
Dr. Rathod highlights these beautiful lines from Horatio in Act I, Scene 1.
Oh, yes.
But look the morn and russet mantle-clad walks o'er the dew of yon high eastward hill.
Such evocative imagery.
It's this gentle, almost hopeful image.
Right. It's like a breath of fresh air after
Yeah.
that intense darkness. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even in the midst of all this uncertainty and fear,
There's still beauty.
there's still the possibility of something better.
Of a new day dawning.
And Dr. Radek connects this to the classical idea of the Sun King Hyperion.
Ah, yes.
Now, Hyperion was associated with his golden age of balance and beauty and grace.
So this image of the dawn, it's not just a pretty picture.
No, it's a symbol
A symbol of what could be.
of a potential resolution to the darkness that's engulfing Denmark.
It's a fleeting glimpse of order and harmony.
In a world that feels so utterly out of joint.
Which, of course, leads us to the question of what resolution itself means.
Right, because it's a word that pops up a lot in discussions of Hamlet.
And Dr. Rathod digs into the various interpretations of the word.
He really does. He goes all the way back to the Oxford English Dictionary
Yeah.
from Shakespeare's time.
Yeah, and it turns out resolution had a whole bunch of different meanings back then.
So many. Dissolution breaking down, turning into liquid relaxation, answering a question.
Clearing up doubt, firm determination.
It's this whole spectrum of possibilities.
And that's what makes it so fascinating.
It's like the word itself embodies the complexity of the play.
Right. It's not just about Hamlet making up his mind or taking action.
No, it's about these fundamental questions of existence.
About things falling apart and coming back together.
About finding answers and overcoming doubts.
And ultimately,
About reaching some kind of conclusion or peace.
or perhaps the impossibility of ever truly reaching those things.
Which is very Hamletian thought.
Indeed.
But there's this one definition from 1526 that really stuck with me.
Oh, tell me about it.
To cause a discord to pass away.
Wow.
And when you view Hamlet's journey through that lens,
It changes everything.
it does. It becomes this immense struggle to resolve not just his own internal turmoil.
But also the external chaos that's engulfing the entire kingdom of Denmark.
Exactly. He's trying to restore harmony to a world that's been shattered by betrayal and violence.
He's trying to heal a deep wound.
And that brings us to Hamlet himself.
To the man at the center of this storm.
Dr. Rathod talks about how acutely Hamlet feels the disjointedness, corruption, and meaninglessness of his world.
Yes, and a lot of that stems from his mother's remarriage to Claudius.
Of course.
Mm.
It's not just the loss of his father that's devastating him.
It's the way his mother seems to have just brushed aside his father's memory.
And rushed into this new marriage.
With his uncle, no less.
It's like a double betrayal in the Hamlet's eyes.
It shatters his whole worldview.
And all the values he held dear.
Fidelity, love, respect for the dead.
Everything he thought was true and good.
is suddenly called into question.
And in the midst of all this moral decay,
We have Hamlet's conscience.
which Dr. Rathod emphasizes is not just about feeling guilty
No, it's about this profound awareness.
and moral sensibility.
Hamlet is hypersensitive to the corruption around him.
He can't just ignore it or pretend it's not happening.
Unlike some of the other characters who seem to be morally numb.
Like the fat weed that just grows and rots without any awareness.
Exactly. Hamlet is burdened by his conscience.
It's this heavy weight he carries with him everywhere.
And it drives his desire to set things right.
To expose the truth.
To avenge his father's murder.
To set right a world out of joint.
Which is a tall order.
It is.
Yeah.
And we see this contrast so clearly in the council chamber scene.
Where everyone's dressed in these rich, elaborate clothes.
And Hamlet's just standing there in his stark black mourning clothes.
It's such a powerful visual representation of his inner state.
Of his grief and his disgust at the hypocrisy of the court.
It's this painted world that Dr. Rathod talks about.
Where everything is surface and appearance.
And nothing is genuine.
And Claudius is the master of this facade.
With his carefully crafted speeches.
Balancing sorrow and joy, mourning and celebration.
It's all a performance.
Designed to mask the monstrous reality underneath.
And Hamlet sees right through it.
Oh, yeah. His reaction to Claudius, a little more than kin and less than kind.
Dripping with disdain.
And disgust.
He sees the lack of genuine human connection.
The lack of decency.
And it even extends to his own body.
His own solid flesh.
Which he wishes would just melt away.
Which leads us to that famous first soliloquy.
Where Hamlet cries out, "Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew."
Such a powerful expression of despair.
And Dr. Rathod points out that the word resolve here has multiple layers of meaning.
It does. It's not just about dissolving or ceasing to exist.
It also connects back to that earlier image of the dew.
The dew of the morning.
Which was associated with purity and renewal.
So even in his darkest moment,
Hamlet is still yearning for something better.
Something untainted by the corruption of the world around him.
He's caught in this agonizing paradox.
Wanting to escape, but also feeling a duty to stay and fight.
Dr. Rathod calls it a grotesque entanglement.
It's this web of internal and external conflicts.
The diseased state of Denmark.
His own suicidal thoughts.
The religious prohibitions against suicide.
It's all tangled up in his mind. And that image of the lime soul struggling to break free, but only becoming more ensnared.
It's so apt.
It captures his paralysis perfectly.
He's being pulled in so many different directions.
By his desire for justice.
By his moral revulsion at the thought of murder.
By his intellect.
By his passion.
He's a walking contradiction.
And it's that inner turmoil that makes him such a compelling character.
And what sets Hamlet apart from other plays of the time?
Dr. Rathod compares it to Troilus and Cressida, for example.
Where the characters are much more straightforward.
Your motivations are clearer.
Hamlet is this enigma.
We're drawn into his internal struggles through his soliloquies.
And we're constantly trying to figure him out.
Along with him.
And then there's the whole issue of love and lust.
Which is so central to the play.
And so messed up.
Hamlet's perception of love is completely warped by his mother's actions.
He sees lust everywhere.
Even in his parents' relationship.
He can't believe that his mother truly loved his father.
He sees her remarriage as a descent from something pure and noble.
To something base and corrupt.
And that cynicism colors his entire worldview.
It leads to his cruel treatment of Ophelia.
Who genuinely loves him.
But he can't see it.
He can't believe it.
He's too blinded by his own pain and distrust.
And Dr. Rathod contrasts Hamlet's view of love with the more reductive views held by other characters.
Like Polonius and Laertes and even Claudius.
Who see love as this simple biological urge.
This fleeting passion. And in the unweeded garden that Elsinore has become.
Where deceit and corruption are running rampant.
Genuine love just can't survive.
It's like a delicate flower that's been trampled underfoot.
And that imagery of the withered rose and Ophelia's symbolic violets.
It really drives home that sense of loss and decay.
That's heartbreaking.
And then there's Hamlet's nostalgia for the past.
For the golden age, under his father's rule.
Which he associates with Hyperion the Sun King.
This symbol of order and purity and stability.
And that idealized past stands in stark contrast to the satyr-like beastliness he sees in Claudius and Gertrude's relationship.
So his desire to resolve himself into a dew.
It's not just about escaping pain.
It's also about returning to a state of innocence and purity.
To a time before everything went wrong.
But even that seemingly pure image of the dew
carries a darker undercurrent.
as Dr. Rathod points out.
It evokes the dews of blood associated with the ghost.
And the demand for revenge.
So even in his yearning for escape,
Hamlet is still trapped.
between his desire for peace
And his duty to act.
it's a terrible burden,
And then the ghost appears.
and confirms all of Hamlet's suspicions.
His prophetic soul was right all along.
But this revelation doesn't bring him peace.
No, it plunges him into even deeper turmoil.
He's now faced with the undeniable truth
Of his father's murder.
and the command to avenge him.
But he's also horrified by the task before him.
He knows that revenge will lead to more violence,
More bloodshed.
more corruption.
And he cries out, "Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right."
It's the cry of a man who feels trapped by fate.
By circumstances beyond his control.
And the prayer scene is such a perfect illustration of his inner conflict.
He has the opportunity to kill Claudius.
But he hesitates.
His conscience won't let him do it.
He wants Claudius to suffer eternal damnation.
Not to die in a state of grace.
It's this agonizing back and forth
Between his desire for revenge,
and his moral scruple,
between his burning hatred,
and his lingering sense of compassion.
and in the end.
He's paralyzed by indecision.
So to sum up this incredible deep dive,
We've explored how Hamlet grapples with these fundamental questions of existence,
the nature of reality,
the meaning of life.
and the elusiveness of resolution.
It's a play that doesn't offer easy answers,
But it forces us to confront our own assumptions.
and to wrestle with the complexities of the human condition.
And it leaves us with this final question.
What does true resolution even look like in a world filled with so much discord?
Is it even achievable?
Or is the very act of struggling with these contradictions?
The defining characteristic of our shared humanity.
It's something for all of us to ponder.
As we continue to explore the inexhaustible depths of this incredible play.
And the timeless questions it raises about who we are and what it means to be alive.
So keep thinking, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
Exactly. That's what it's all about.